Hi, I'm Terry Murphy, and welcome to the Women's Wisdom Network. I'm the senior editor for Realty Times Women in Business, Women in Real Estate in the Men's Room with Murph. But today we have a woman who goes beyond just women in business. Her name is Wendy Bjork, and she is the MS Warrior Queen, having studied and involved with both physically and emotionally with multiple sclerosis. Every period in Women's Wisdom Network, we like to shine a light on health and wellness. And I think Wendy would be a great asset here because we all have known of someone, have a friend, or maybe even our families are affected with MS. Welcome, Miss CBA, which stands for
Certified Badass.
I love that. She's the MS Warrior Queen, a mentor for empowering other women diagnosed with MS. She likes working with them. She actually loves working with them on their mind-body relationship and environment, bringing their inner MS Warrior Queen to strong fruition. You've dealt with this for over 30 years. Tell us about that journey.
Well, thank you, Terry, for having me. So nice to see you again.
Thank you.
So this has not been a fluffy, bumpy, fun ride at all. It's been rough at times, and I've had some pretty rough moments going along this journey. I had started having symptoms when I was 17 and just didn't know what it was. When I mentioned it to my doctor, he didn't think anything of it, so he didn't really dig into it either. And it wasn't until about 5 years later of having all these weird things happening that I had a big one. I was at work. By then, I was working a full-time job in a busy insurance office. It was stressful, and I had a client yelling at me, probably something irrelevant, but all of a sudden I couldn't talk. It was like someone had their hand over my mouth. I didn't know if I was having a stroke or what was happening. So I just hung the phone up on him and kind of ran to the ladies' room to see, I don't know why. Yeah. So that was the first major. I mean, I'd had a lot of numbness and tingling and that sort of thing, but that was the first time that I was like truly felt impaired.
Yes. And so tell us a little bit about MS. You said you felt the tingling and the numbness. Essentially, it affects the nerve endings.
Yes. What happens is there is a layer on your nerve ending. It's called myelin. So when that is gone, then there's no way for your system to send signals back and forth to your brain. So MS, inhibits that part of your function.
That has to be frightening, and it's so easy to write off because everybody has a little numbness now and then, and everybody has some tingling. But at 17 years old, you've had to deliver. You had to redesign your lifestyle to deal with this. I know that you author for the National MS Society Momentum magazine and roundtable discussions with Dr. Terry Walls, which I'm familiar with. Walls' protocol has been featured in 7 of your podcasts. So if you were talking to a group of women, just together, you would tell them that you said it was rough at times. Hello, I think it would be rough every moment that you wake, because you know that the standard, whatever that is not how you have to deal with life every single day. And so you did get married, you did have children, so all of that was still part of your life, but you must have had some major understanding and connection with your husband because he knew that going in.
Well, and I think it really started when you say connection. My first boss at this busy insurance office was into self-development. So he really taught me a lot about having a positive mindset. He would send me to seminars. Stephen Covey was up and coming. This is in the 90s. And I can't remember all the ones I went to, but he would send me to these seminars, I think, to help me. And he wanted me to come back and teach everybody else how to be positive, which that was like talking to a brick wall sometimes. But that, I think, is probably one of the biggest components in just having a strong faith that I can get through anything. And maybe the flip side is that I pretended I was fine way too often.
Yeah, the pretending part gets old, but you have to have developed a very strong personal commitment Everybody thinks of both health and health, physical challenges, financial challenges, familial challenges as these things, and we throw away positiveness as this Pollyanna kind of thing. But really, I mean, in all of this, there's a gift. There's a gift of awareness. I love to call it, it's either a roadblock or a rabbit hole. The rabbit hole, you go in there, you suck your thumb, you try to figure it out. You can be in there for a little while, but you got to get your butt out there if you're a CBA. And then you have to figure out, what does the roadblock teach me? What am I seeing that I wouldn't have seen before? And so if you were speaking to a bunch of women that have been newly diagnosed with MS, what would you tell them?
I think the most important thing is having a positive mindset, and that there's so many facets to healing. It's not just one thing. And it's your mindset, it's your body, it's what you're eating, drinking, what you're putting on your body. It's the relationships around you, whether it's with yourself, your coworkers, your family, your friends, and then finally your environment, because you can have all these things figured out, but then if you're still using, the laundry soap from the grocery store with all the fragrance in, or the cleaning products that are harmful, you're still aggravating your symptoms.
Yeah,
So
you mentioned that in your book. You've got a little ebook that you offer, and it says over 1 million people in the US are living with MS, over 700,000 in Europe. Women are up to 3 times more likely to have it. I'm wondering why that is. You look fine, right? I mean, people can't see it like they would see crutches or something, but you talk about how diet and lifestyle are incumbent upon how well you deal with this or not. Now, we all know people that have been totally debilitated by MS, and then other people like yourself that appear to be functioning just fine. And you talked about laundry soaps and toxins and preservatives. What have you done in your life that has helped you, I don't want to say conquer, but manage what you're going through?
I think I just wanted one day to figure out why I felt awful all the time, why I get up in the morning and just want to turn around and go back to bed after I get dressed, because everything's exhausting. And I really just started reading and diving into what causes inflammation in our body. And it's everything from the foods we eat to products we use, that store in the mall that sells all the bath and body stuff. That's all, it contains inflammatory ingredients.
What are inflammatory ingredients? I know that there's a number of things parabens people are allergic to. And I don't think they understand that it only takes, 26 seconds for your skin to absorb chemicals of any kind. Anything you put on the exterior, your skin is your largest organ. So clearly, that's a lot of space. That's the most space. Ingestion of things, obviously, we know preservatives have never been good. That was just for the consumer. But specifically, what do you use, like specific products, or tell me how have you adjusted to still, pamper yourself, but not necessarily with the kinds of things that are detrimental?
Well, in doing all that research, I just found, a company that I can trust, because I tried oodles and oodles of products, trying to find cleaning products that worked and laundry products that worked. And it's just, like you said, it's a rabbit hole. So you just have to find products without all these harmful ingredients in, and be able to trust them and know what to read on the label, like the parabens you said, and the phthalates. And now they are disguising these ingredients because consumers are aware of ones that are harmful. So you really have to trust your source.
So regardless of whether or not you're dealing with something as impacting as MS, none of these things will help your health, as you mentioned. But you keep going back to the negative thinking. I'm wondering, what kind of support do you get, or did you notice you didn't get? When you say, I'm sorry, I have MS, a lot of people that don't know how to deal with that, and the Father forgive them, they know not what they do, they'll pull back because they don't feel powerful enough to help you. But in fact, what do you want from the people that you allow yourself, you allow into your life? I mean, what do you want from them? I mean, should it not be a an issue? Do they just ignore it? Tell us about what makes you as a person who has MS. What is it? What's good for you? How do you want us to behave? Let's put it that way. In a
I think
perfect world.
in a perfect world, it would be people offering to help and being, I guess, serious about it, not just saying, oh, I'm sorry, let me know if there's anything I can do to help,
So
because
do
you'll
so.
never call them.
Of course not. I mean, there's that whole dichotomy. It's time to listen to your heart is what you say. And I'm just knowing if you're a CBA, you know that you're going to try and do it yourself. There's a fierce independence that comes with that, whether you've been, impacted by even something that physically allows you not to walk or whatever. But my point is, it's definitely emotional. You have to deal with it. But when you say do something, what would somebody do? Give us a hint. If I said, what can I do for you? I mean, is it making soup? Is it dusting the house? Is it picking up groceries? What specific? Just give us one activity that if somebody out there is listening to this and they have a friend with MS, they say, you know what I'm going to do for you today? Is that something I can do to help you today?
Yes, like you said, just something minor. Just come over and dust your house or mop the floor quick, because
That
that's,
takes a lot of energy.
yeah.
See, so here's one of the issues I want to be transparent here, Wendy, and that is when you are unconsciously competent, you don't understand the sacred and the ordinary because it's no contrast. I mean, if you've always swept your floor with both hands and both feet, you don't understand that that could be an issue for someone else. When you've walked across a room holding a cup of soup or coffee, and if you're on a walker or if you're with a cane, it's not easy. And
Right.
so it's not about enabling, because I think if I was listening to this or watching it, because we have both podcasts on Women's Wisdom Network and visuals, is I wouldn't want to impede your individualism, your fierceness to do things yourself, but I do want to be a support without making you feel that I'm being merciful, kind of thing. I know that women in general, which is what Women's Wisdom Network is all about, is women supporting women. And if I can support you by picking up groceries once a week, because I'm going to go there anyway, or picking up the dry cleaning because my dry cleaners is at the same place yours is, that to me would be acceptable to the person who is in your situation. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. And now with the grocery pickup, I mean, that'd be fantastic if somebody said, put your order in and I'll just go grab it for you.
Yeah, and that's my point. I mean, I think that one of the most interesting things I learned, we just did an interview with Greg Godek, who's the author of 1001 Ways to Be Romantic, which sounds a little bit fluffer nutter, but he is serious about thoughtfulness, proactive thoughtfulness, which is really there's a big difference between love and romance. Love is a feeling. Romance is something you do to anchor them. And I'm talking about an appropriate way between people. But when you're thoughtful, when you are proactive about something, that means so much more because it's experiential. And so what I'm hearing from you is it's experiential.
Mm-hmm.
You deal with this every moment that you're alive in your body. Someone else only deals with it when it comes up into their reality or their presence. And so the best way to help people like yourselves is to figure out a way that's so unique, so special, maybe tiny and inconsequential to anyone else about how to help them in their journey.
Right.
Without enablement, so to speak. And you do give private calls because I'll bet there's somebody on this call that either just got diagnosed or whose family member or loved one just got diagnosed. How would you help them in a private call? Tell us what happens with that.
Sure. And like we've talked about, all these areas are all part of your healing process. So what I would do is just go through each area and spend some time figuring out where you are to start, because that's the first step, is understanding where you are, what your needs are, where you want to be, what your goals and dreams are, and how we can help with that.
Yeah, and so again, it's that collaboration that really supports you, is and not just your family because they have an emotional investment, but that 30-minute private call is actually complimentary. Is that
Right.
correct? And they can
Yes.
schedule it by going to your website. And the website is wendybjork.com.
Correct. And
And
my
that's
calendar will just pop up.
Yeah, and that's Bjork is that like, you know, wonderful European way to, it's B as in baby, J as in Janet, O-R-K, and it's Wendy spelled like W-E-N-D-Y. You also have a Facebook group called The Holistic Mom.
Yes, I do.
Is that a private group or can people just join you there?
It's a private group, so we can talk about whatever we want, but anybody that's interested can come on over and join.
And the free MS guide can be found at plural, heartsofwellness.com/MS-guide, which of course you can just get at wendybjork.com. Well, Wendy, I hope you'll join us again soon to let us know of new things as you create awareness, as you create a program that will be ongoing. Support is the most important thing in any challenge, whether it's emotional or physical or financial. When you get support, it shores up your own belief factors. And it sounds to me like the warrior princess in you, that warrior queen, in your case, is what keeps you vital, functioning, and contributive.
Yes, and I believe there's just so many gaps in our care. I mean, you go to your neurologist, they poke at you for a few minutes, they watch you walk in the hallway, they talk about your medications, and then you're on your way in 20 minutes. So there's no time to discuss who's helping you emotionally or what you're eating, or if your spouse or partner is helping you, or if they think you're just lazy and don't feel like doing anything. So I just found there's just so many areas that I can help people.
Isn't that interesting? So we are so quick to rush to judgment about, oh, you're lazy. The fact is that if you've ever had anything like this, you know that you have no choice. Your body just, it just doesn't function like someone else's. And you know what, unfortunately, we're in our body, everybody else is in theirs, and they can't feel this no matter how empathetic they are. So I'm going to recommend that everybody who's watching or listening to this, be aware, be resourceful, and point people to Wendy, because as much as we are empathetic, we can't do what she can do. And so that's wendybjork.com. If they have an email, it's support@heartsofwellness.com. Wendy, I want to thank you for joining us, and thank you for your amazing insights into a lifestyle changes and introspection and all of the research you've done to make other people feel their best when dealing with MS. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you'll join us again soon on the
Thank you
Women's
so
Wisdom
much.
Network. Yes, thank you. And by the way, Wendy is in Central Daylight Time in Wisconsin, where it's snowing heavily. So in case you want to contact her, you'll know what time zone to reach her in. Thanks again for joining us, Wendy.
Thank you.